everybody for your interest in Trinity College Dublin, and in particular, your interest in the law school in Trinity College Dublin. So I'm one of the professors on staff, Professor Blanagh Clark, Can Chair of Corporate Law. I'm also Director of Teaching and Learning for Postgraduate Studies. So I'll introduce you to the school, just give you a little bit of flavour, and then I'll pass you on to my colleagues who will talk to you about the programmes in more detail. So the first question, some reasons why you might decide to take your interest further and actually choose Trinity School of Law to study. So we're one of Europe's oldest leading law schools. We're actually established in 1740. We're the highest ranked law school in Ireland. We're ranked 62 in the top 100 QS rankings by subject, and we're ranked in the top 100 law schools in the world by the Times Higher Education rankings. We have alumni right across the globe, so we really are an international group of scholars, and we're delighted to maintain that link and those friendships across the globe. So about the School of Law, we're a very active group of research scholars, so not just teaching and engaging with new forms of teaching and innovations, but also in terms of research activity. So all of us engage in researching in Irish law, but also in European Union law or global international law more widely, not just in terms of research publications, although those are clearly important to us, and we publish texts and articles in the national and international scholarly academic presses, but we also engage with public policy and other service providers. We engage with practitioners, we engage with government departments, and our specialist research groups span a range of subjects from constitutional governance and social change to corporate governance to technology and everything in between. So there's rooms for collections of scholars. Two of us on the call here would specialise in the area of financial services law, but also for individuals with very specialist areas of focus. Within Trinity itself, we're the home to what's called TRICON, which is a recently introduced Centre for Constitutional Law and Governance, which gathers together researchers and promotes research in the truly important areas of constitutional law and governance. TRICON is also the host to the COVID-19 Law and Human Rights Observatory, and I think that brings together a collection of academics throughout the school, bringing our own special areas of expertise to try and resolve issues which arose out of the COVID-19 emergency. And I think we're particularly proud of that one. It indicated that we were agile and responsive in taking the research that we had been working on in many cases for years and adapting it and making it relevant to policies which suddenly became important in different ways that, because of the pandemic, we hadn't imagined years before. So we were looking at issues such as housing rights, health rights, financial stability concerns. So that sort of research, that cutting edge research used for proper purpose is something we're particularly proud of. Other research projects include some European Research Council funded study into accountability in prisons. We're also host to the Irish Centre for European Law, which brings together practitioners and academics and engages in some of the important areas of EU law and European law more widely. We're host to journals, the Dublin University Law Journal, which is a generalist law journal, but also the Irish Supreme Court Review, which focuses particularly on issues and challenges which would come before Ireland's highest court. That's an annual publication. We're particularly proud of our reputation in terms of equality and diversity and inclusiveness. We were the first law school in the country to be awarded the Athena Swan Bronze Award in September. And that really recognises our achievement in meeting very high benchmarks in our research, in our teaching, and generally in the way that we do business. We are proud of our culturally diverse and dynamic faculty. We recognise that they give to us as much as we give to them. And every lecture room is brightened by that and informed by that diversity of thought. So that's hugely important to us. The community itself, we pride ourselves, in having a very close relationship with our students. And I think all our students will vouch for that. We have 800 undergrads, 200 postgrads, and 35 postgrad research students. You've heard a list of some of the countries that people on this call are from. On our postgrad community, students who come here comprise more than 30 countries. Our research community, in addition to our doctoral students, numbering 35 at present, we also have postdocs. And again, these come from a broad international community, and that allows us engage in international research and law. They bring their knowledge. We work with scholars in the school, and together the synergies can be developed. Funding from a wide variety of Irish and European projects, including the Irish Research Council, the OECD, and various European Commission funded projects. Our students, we were recently doing a list of awards and recognition for the previous academic year. And there was 2-3 pages of just extraordinary achievements from our students in terms of publication in international journals, contributing to and organising conferences attended by an international base. They've also, at this level, students are also responding and engaging in public policy and working with us and working independently in producing draft reports for government and for governmental and NGO bodies. In terms of student societies, we do appreciate that part of studying in Trinity is access to the community life here and college life. And that's something so important. So we have a number of students societies that are related to law, so the ones you see on the screen. But in addition, we encourage our students to engage more broadly. And so, for example, a lot of our students will be members of what we call the PHIL, which is the Philosophical Society, which is the oldest debating society, it tells us, in the world, founded in 1683. So we would encourage you to engage more broadly too. In terms of taught programs, I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, Professor Des Ryan, who's going to speak to you about the LLMs in general. And then he will hand you over to his colleague, Felix Mazzarotti, who will talk to you about law and finance masters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Clark. Hello, everybody. It's a great pleasure to speak with you today. And I'm delighted to introduce our different postgraduate taught programs in the context of the LL.M programs. We have 4 of these LL.M programs: the LL.M General, the LL.M in International and Comparative Law, the LL.M in International and European Business Law, and the LL.M in Intellectual Property and Information Technology Law, or IP and IT for short. So let me tell you a little bit about each of these programs so that you can work out if this is the right program for you. In terms of the structure, first of all, of our LL.M programs in general, some key points to note are that the programs are 1 academic year in duration. they're full-time programs. And this is important because there's a significant amount of independent research and study involved in addition to your in-class participation and lectures and so on. Students complete 6 taught modules and then a research dissertation. There are over 40 of these postgraduate taught modules, and the teaching is delivered both by full-time professors and adjunct expert practitioners. So we're really fortunate here in Trinity to be situated so close to the courts and to all of the centres of legal activity in Dublin, and we get the benefit therefore of many leading experts, practitioners who join us in the faculty to deliver modules. Our modules on the programmes have an international focus, enhancing career mobility. And these involve class discussions and student participation, building strongly on student and professor communications. Another key feature of the LL.M is that all students complete a research dissertation on a particular theme, which you get to choose and which is then approved by the dissertation director. And you'll be able to choose a thematic dissertation group based on the particular dissertation that you wish to pursue. These are fantastic groups, and they are always called out by students as a real highlight of their development as lawyers and as postgraduate students, because these groups develop research and writing skills, presentation skills, peer-to-peer review and learning capabilities, whilst of course being a great way to develop friendships and lasting collegiate relationships. The dissertation topics should relate to the particular programme you pursue. And examples of dissertations include the regulation of online hate speech, examination of the International Refugee Convention, the use of artificial intelligence in the banking sector, or the interaction between copyright law and video games, to name but a few. So I think you can see there how topical and how emerging these questions are, and they really give you an opportunity as a postgraduate student to make a contribution to ongoing debate and scholarship. And every year, a number of LL.M students will use their dissertation and related research to publish journal articles and conference papers. So it really is a fantastic opportunity. To turn next to our general LL.M, the first of the 4 programmes, this is the flagship programme with a very substantial list of modules covering the different branches of law. And as the director of the programme, I would say that this is the perfect choice for you if you're a student who doesn't yet wish to be overly specialised in your postgraduate legal studies whilst still pursuing a very highly regarded LL.M degree. It enables you to broaden and deepen your knowledge of the law and to follow a very wide variety of career paths. Next, we turn to the International and Comparative Law LL.M, a programme created for students wishing to develop an in-depth understanding of law in an international and global context. Here, comparative legal research will develop skills required for our changing social, cultural, and international environment. And there's a great range of modules on this particular programme as well, taught by experts and practitioners, including international humanitarian law, business and human rights, and Islamic law. Next, we have the LL.M in international and European business law, designed for graduates preparing to work in busy international commercial firms or legal practice across the globe, amongst other opportunities. Students here will develop skills to critically analyse the relationship between law and social change within international and business law contexts. And some of our many specialised modules here include corporate governance, international economic and trade law, and mergers and acquisitions. We then have the LL.M in IP and IT law. a programme covering the substantive, policy and practical elements of intellectual property and information technology within European and international contexts. And of course, Dublin is a fantastic location in which to be carrying out this study, given the presence here of so many IP and IT global multinational firms. Students will acquire the knowledge and tools to meet the demands of our sophisticated knowledge economy. And the specialised modules available on this programme may include data protection, regulation of cyber speech and cyber security, and copyright law and patent law. So that gives you a brief overview of the different LLMs. To mention now scholarship opportunities, there are a number of postgraduate scholarships available at Trinity, to include Global Excellence postgraduate scholarships, European Excellence postgraduate scholarships, and Jean Monnet scholarships, of which you'll be hearing a little more from our guest speaker later. Postgraduate law students can also apply for externally offered scholarships subject to eligibility, including the Government of Ireland International Scholarships and the Ireland Fellows Programme. And you'll see more information indicated on the slide. There are also a number of internships and prizes available to students on the different LL.M programmes. To give just a couple of examples, there's a Pan-European SEAL professional traineeship programme, which provides paid IP law traineeships. We also have aviation law internship opportunities and the potential for the publication of students' coursework on the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland website. So there are a number of opportunities linked in with the different LL.M programmes. Careers, of course, will be a very frequent question that you'll have when considering an LL.M. Here, for your future path in your career, we have a careers advisory service in Trinity, providing a wide range of resources to help you make informed choices about your future career directions. And the kind of supports that are available to you include things like one-to-one meetings with a careers consultant, interview and CV clinics, seminars and workshops, law career fairs, and these are available to you up to 1 year after you've completed your studies. And you can see on the slide there a range of further details about the kind of career service supports available to students. Working in Ireland during and after your studies is again an important consideration. Postgraduate law students from outside the EU are entitled to take up part-time casual employment in Ireland during your studies. That's under the Stamp 1 visa. And then following graduation, you can apply for a Stamp 1G visa under Ireland's third level graduate scheme. This allows non-EU students to remain and work in Ireland for up to 2 years after graduation. I'm always amazed and delighted for our graduates when I see the huge range of career opportunities that students take up. And the one thing I always want to remind our applicants of is that by pursuing the LL.M, you're not necessarily deciding only to become a lawyer. There are fantastic opportunities in the practice of law available to LL.M graduates. But in addition to pursuing legal careers, many of our graduates pursue careers as diverse as academia, careers in the aviation industry, banking, the civil and public service, data protection agencies, immigration, media, and human rights. So the world really is your oyster. Finally, in terms of the practical tips about admissions, applications are invited from well-qualified graduates who hold a very good honours bachelor's degree in law or in a law-based interdisciplinary programme. This really is the starting point for admissions. Very exceptionally, non-law candidates can be considered on a case-by-case basis. And the important element there is to demonstrate the relevance of your prior academic achievement and experience to the pursuit of an intensive master's such as our LL.Ms. The application deadline is the 31st of May, but of course, early application is very much encouraged, and further details and a list of helpful frequently asked questions are available at the link shown on the slide. In terms of student testimonials, just to identify a very small sample of some of the themes that recur each year when students give us their feedback. Students frequently comment on the knowledge and the skills that they've gained on the programme, having placed them in a position where they could apply for jobs or careers which they hadn't previously known about. And in that regard, there's a huge range of experience that the LL.M students are provided with. I'll just pause here to ask whether everyone can still hear me, please.
Yep, absolutely. Go ahead. Oh. We are all here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I think the range of experience that our graduates have is another real attribute of and testament to the programme. So without further ado, I'd like to thank you for your time today, and I'm going to now invite my colleague, Professor Felix Mezzanotte, to address us on the MSc in Law and Finance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Brian. My name is Felix Mezzanotte. I am the director of the MSc in Law and Finance program, and I am delighted to talk to you today about this program. The program is jointly organized by the Trinity School of Law and the Trinity Business School. It started in academic year 2018-2020, and since then the program has enjoyed tremendous success. The key feature of the program is interdisciplinarity, as the students have the opportunity to take modules in finance and modules in law, and this element of interdisciplinarity is really attractive to employers. The program is aimed towards graduates in law, finance, or business currently working or seeking opportunities for future work in the corporate or financial sector. Activities that correlate very closely with the content of our program include activities associated with corporate law and governance, corporate finance, financial law and regulation, banking, investment funds industry, the security industry, asset management industry, among other activities. Students registered in our program are required to complete a set of mandatory modules, elective modules, and a research dissertation in law or finance. Mandatory modules provide these basic knowledge and skills relating to law and finance, and they cover a variety of very contemporaneous and exciting modules: business ethics, corporate finance, investment theory, corporate finance and corporate governance from the perspective of law and policy, EU financial services law. The program also offers a wide range of elective modules that allow students to specialize in selective topics in law or in finance. Courses like business and human rights, legal issues and sustainable finance, very contemporaneous, very interesting topics, mergers and acquisitions, international law modules in the area of business, tax, aviation, economic law, trade law, on the side of finance, financial markets and institutions, econometrics, finance policy and politics, international finance, among other interesting elective modules. Finally, students are also required to complete a dissertation under the guidance of academic leaders at the School of Law, if this is a law dissertation, or Trinity Business School, if this is a business dissertation. And the reason why, of the objectives that we pursue by requiring students to complete a dissertation, is to allow students to apply the knowledge and skills acquired from their modules to tackle a real-world problem of practical or academic relevance. In terms of funding, applicants to the MSc Law and Finance can apply to many of the same scholarships available to LL.M students. In addition, and importantly, 2 scholarships are available specifically for applicants with the MSc in Law and Finance, comprising €5,000 contribution towards tuition fees. This is a competitive scholarship, therefore awarded on academic merit, and all the information in relation to forms, the contents of the scholarship, applications, and so on is found in the website of the law school. Students that completed the program with us have followed a variety of career destinations in academia, in the legal sector, in-house legal counsel or law firm, and also in the industry, in the business industry, in positions such as business development analyst, private equity reporting analyst, financial business analyst, tax consultants, corporate secretary, to mention a few. And with employers that are very well regarded, like auditing firms, KPMG, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, consulting firms, McKinsey, law firms, McCann Fitzgerald, Matheson, investment firms like PIMCO. I strongly recommend you to visit the website of the law school to look at all the information in relation to the program, including the students' testimonial. Students basically narrate their experience as a student at Trinity, and more particularly as the students registered in our program. In addition, in the website of the law school, you'll find admission requirements. The admission requirements are very stringent because the program is highly regarded. So I recommend that you look at the information in the websites, look at the eligibility criteria, and in particular as well as look at the deadline for applications. And we recommend that you submit the application early on, and then we will assess that application on a rolling basis. For any other information, questions, inquiries in relation to the MSc and also in relation to the LL.M programs, please contact our program manager, Ms. Kelly McCabe. Her email is law.postgraduate@tcd.ie. Thank you very much for your time, and it was great talking to you too. And our next talk is going to be an experience by one of our students.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. By way of an introduction, my name is Ibrahim Barışsayar. I studied at Trinity College Dublin in IP and IT Law LL.M program in 2019-2020 as a Jean Monnet Scholar, which is a scholarship program funded by the European Union and targets the Turkish applicants. So at that time, I was searching for LL.M programs across Europe, and I decided to apply to Trinity College Dublin, which I really enjoyed and which I believe that it greatly helped me with my current career. I am currently a PhD student in Paris, France. So I think I can mention about why I chose Trinity College Dublin and what experience I had during my studies. First of all, Trinity College Dublin is the highest ranked school in Ireland and also a leading law school in Europe and international context. So Trinity has really a good reputation after your studies when you are applying to law firms or for a PhD or consulting firms. When the recruiters saw Trinity College Dublin and you studied there, you did an LL.M there, it really has a positive impact. Secondly, as Professor Desmond Ryan mentioned, that the LL.M studies at Trinity College is focused on independent research, which is very important, in particular if you want to decide if you want to do a PhD afterwards, because what a PhD is about, independent research. So I believe that how the LL.M constructed at Trinity is really good in that sense. Apart from that, there are several really good opportunities, such as Pan-European SEAL traineeship program. Maybe I can talk more about the practical sides of it. For instance, with this program, you are able to do an internship in either European Patent Office or EIPO, European Intellectual Property Office in Spain or in Germany. Some of my classmates, actually 3 of them, did this internship, which they really enjoyed and learned a lot. Some of my friends, for example, decided to stay in Ireland afterwards. One is working at Google. Some of them are doing PhDs. Some of them are working in law firms or consulting firms, which was really an easy transaction after the studies. Although at that time, unfortunately, COVID disrupted our way of living, but now it is much better. I can also talk about why I chose Ireland. So first of all, Ireland is an English-speaking country, which really helps you to adjust the life very easily and also improve your English, especially for students whose native language is not English. You will also enjoy the social life to the really high extent. For example, I participated hiking society and the philosophical society, the PHIL, which is actually the oldest, if I am not wrong, the oldest student society in Europe. It's, maybe 300 years old. So they are organizing, for example, trips or conferences every week, which is really, you met with a lot of people from countless of different countries. You make friends or meet with colleagues from all around the world, which I still keep in touch. For example, I am now in Paris, and one of my classmates is actually working in France now as a lawyer. So we just met with the other day, which is quite nice to my opinion. So I believe the quality of the education and the reputation of Trinity is really important, in particular if you focus what will happen afterwards, what will happen after your LL.M. And I am sure for my experience, it was great. It was really good. And I hope if you have a chance to study at Trinity, you will enjoy your time there as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mbari. So now you have in front of you actually this QR code that we strongly recommend you to scan now. This is a way to register with Trinity to make sure that you don't miss any important thing in terms of scholarships available when the application system open and so on and so forth. But also, I think that we can remind you the email of the course coordinator of all the LL.M programs, Kelly McBee. I think it's somewhere in this slide. So you can make a note as well to make sure that if you need something from the School of Law, this is the best way to be in touch.